and welcome to Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh Then and Now. It's almost a year since the revocation of the special status of the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir and division of it into two union territories, that of Jammu and Kashmir and of Ladakh. The long-standing demand of the Ladakhi people was met on the 5th of August last year when two separate union territories were created by an act of Parliament. The Parliament of India passed. Then the President of India gave a proclamation on that, and come 5th August, we'll complete 1 year of the revocation of the special status. So how much has been achieved? What has how far what is the road distance we've traveled in this 1 year? In this program, every evening at 6:30, we try and bring you that. We try and take a stock of what the situation is. We don't bring you what politicians say. We don't bring you what the government claims. We don't bring you what the opposition or the critics criticize the government for. We send our reporters out on the ground to see for themselves, talk to the people living in those villages along the border, in the hinterland, in the remote corners of Ladakh, of Jammu, of the Kashmir Valley, and bring you what they actually say, and for you to see for yourselves what has changed in the past 1 year, what remains to be changed, how far have we traveled, and we take a look at that in terms of development, in terms of progress, in terms of changing what it has brought to the people of these two union territories. Let's begin the show. I'm Amritpal Singh. And let's begin with the Kashmir Valley. My colleague Ashok Srivastava traveled to a village in the Pulwama district. This village is called Meez village. In just 1 year, development has taken place in this Meez village of Pulwama. Irrigation water is now reaching the barren fields, which were earlier barren fields, because everyone is working towards development. From fencing of the Eidgah to giving a new look to the schools of the village, there has been a tremendous change. Let's take a look at this special report by Ashok Srivastava.
Farmers of Meez village of South Kashmir are happy as paddy crop is growing all over the fields. Everyone is happy to see the growing crops because it has happened after many years. Irrigation water is reaching the barren fields today because everyone is working towards development of the village. The right to decide what development work will be done in the villages of Jammu and Kashmir is now not just limited to the hands of some people, and therefore the change is visible in this village of Pulwama.
मेरे पास आए थे लोग, उन्होंने बोला था कि यहाँ पे बंजर है, हमें दान का मसला है, दान उगता नहीं है, हमने उसको पैसे दिए हैं नरेगा में, हमने डिसल्टिंग करवाए, डिसल्टिंग की थी, तो फिर लोगों को राहत पहुंची और राहत की वजह से ये दान अच्छा निकला। और इस वक्त चल रहा है बहुत काम। अभी मैं इंशाल्लाह आगे भी जाऊंगा, यहाँ पे पुल बनाऊंगा, यहाँ पे ड्रेनेज सिस्टम और लाइटिंग सिस्टम मुझे प्लानिंग में है, इंशाल्लाह मैं करूँगा। हम लोग को बुलाते हैं, लोग जोक दर जोक आते हैं, उनके मसले मसाइल हम सुनते हैं, हम डिसाइड करते हैं लोग कौन सा प्रायोरिटी में रखनी है, कौन सा क्या है। हम जर्नल प्लान जब हम बनाते हैं उसी में हम प्रायोरिटी देते हैं। जो लोगों को फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी देनी चाहिए हम उसको देता है, फिर लोग चुनते हैं फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी किस काम को होता है। रियल डेमोक्रेसी तो ये जो ग्रास रूट लेवल है, हम पंचायत राज ये ग्रास रूट लेवल पे हम गरीब पोर मैन फैमिली तक हम पहुंचते हैं और पहुंच जाते हैं, और अमीर फैमिली तक भी पहुंचते हैं। हमारा विजन यही है, यहाँ पे कौन गरीब है, कौन अमीर है, कौन क्या है, क्या प्रॉब्लम है, किसको क्या करना है, हमें मालूम है एक हाउस होल्डर तक। ग्रास रूट लेवल तो यही है, जो पंचायत राज है ये ग्रास रूट लेवल डेमोक्रेसी है। जो असेंबली होता है ना, उससे अच्छा ग्रास रूट लेवल है। क्यों? लोग इनके साथ ज़्यादा जुड़ता है। यहाँ के लोग पंचायत लोगों के साथ मिलके काम करते हैं।
और उससे कश्मीर में बदलाव आ रहा है?
हाँ, कश्मीर में इसमें बदलाव।
क्या बदलाव आप देखते हैं?
आप देखो पिछले 20 सालों से अगर हम नज़र करेंगे, आप देखो आज भी कैसा डेवलप, कैसा वर्क चल रहा है। आज से पिछले 20 सालों से ऐसा माहौल नहीं था। जो आज चल रहा है ऐसा नहीं था।
Rainwater cuts the Mies village from the cities every year when the soil of the mountains comes onto the roads. But this year, even after the lockdown and labour shortage, the rain will not become a problem for the Mies village because the work of building the breast wall along the road is underway.
वारिया शुक्रगुजार तुहुंद यथ बसान पे पस वस गाड़ी यप पे बना पकन यथ आयत गाम से यम शूब बे अमो कुन ब्रोट कुन काम पकान वारिया शुक्रगुजार तुहुंद क्या यथ आयु डंग दिन।
Many steps have been taken in the last 2 years to strengthen the panchayats of Jammu and Kashmir. Though the 73rd Amendment of the Constitution in 1993 gave power to panchayats across the country, but Jammu and Kashmir was left behind. The 73rd Constitution Amendment did not apply to the state. But after the abrogation of Article 370, the provisions of 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendments came into force in Jammu and Kashmir. Local administration and Panchayat Raj institutions got empowered. People got their rights back and the strength to fight against all odds.
पहले हम कृष्टि कर रहा यहाँ पे तकरीबन 1.5 साल पहले हम पहले जाता बीडीओ ऑफिस पामपुर, फिर बीडीओ ऑफिस के बाद जाता है एसीडी ऑफिस, उसके बाद जाता है डीसी साहब के पास, फिर काम नहीं होता यहाँ पे। तकरीबन 1.5 साल हो गए यहाँ पे जहाँ सरपंच बन गए यहाँ पे। उसके बाद यहाँ काम चल रहा, टाइलिंग सिस्टम चल रहा है यहाँ पे, ड्रेनेज सिस्टम चल रहा है यहाँ पे, फिलिंग फेंसिंग ग्रेवार्ड के ये फ्लाइंग हो गया, फेंसिंग और टाइलिंग सिस्टम हो गया, सियासी पॉइंट हो गया यहाँ पे, और रोड भी बन रहा है यहाँ पे, नरेगा सिस्टम आरडीडी का। मगर सफाई का माहौल साफ़ सुथरा रखा है यहाँ पे, डिसल्टिंग होता है यहाँ पे, बहुत काम हो गया यहाँ पे।
In just 1 year, development has taken place in Mies village of Pulwama, from fencing of Eidgah to giving a new look to the schools of the village. There has been a tremendous change. The construction of roads is done, drains have been covered, and the village is clean. The Panchayat Raj Ministry has announced the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Empowerment Award last month to Mies Panchayat of Pulwama for the excellent performance. Ashok Srivastav's report from Pulwama, DD India.
So my colleague Ashok travelled to this village called Mies in the Pulwama district. This is one village. There are other villages in many districts which are now, seeing the development on the fast track. That's what we see on the ground. For more on that, I'm joined by Sushil Pandit, senior journalist. Sushil, we showed a story that how the developmental work has got fast-tracked. You are an independent journalist. What is your assessment in the past 1 year? Last year on August 5th, when the special status was revoked, there was a lot of hue and cry that the rights of the Kashmiri people have been taken away. It's a clamp down. India has changed the status in contravention of UN conventions and UN resolutions and things like that. 1 year on, how do you see, how far have we come? Has it become better? Do things remain where they are? Are they just cosmetic changes, one-off village that we are showing? What is your independent assessment of the situation in that past 1 year?
Thank you, Mr. Singh, for having me on the show. I think the biggest difference that has come about is a huge drop in the level of violence.
Okay.
No amount of policy decisions and no amount of budgetary allocations and development work can even begin to start or show on the ground if there is no peace, if there is no law and order.
Okay.
So if you look at the level of violence, stone pelting, hartals, bands, disruptions, it is a fraction of what it used to be before August 5, 2019. Which is why the infrastructure building, investment in economic infrastructure, developmental work has been able to take place, which is why public assets were created and not destroyed. What we saw before August 5 was routine destruction of public assets, of bridges, roads, buildings, offices, in the name of a freedom struggle. The state and its economy was being destroyed. The very sentiment which drives investment and hard work is about optimism in future. If you shake that, then people are unwilling to put their money into their economic activity, make investments in the hope of better returns.
Okay.
That is one of the biggest differences, and hence the government schemes are able to come and get implemented on the ground, and people are able to see the difference. There are several such villages where public works have taken place. Because of lack of hartals, government offices are able to work. In fact, in the immediate aftermath of August 5, lot of bureaucracy started camping in villages overnight, started redressing people's grievances at their doorsteps. And this was one of the initiatives of the previous government. And those are still continuing, where the entire administration lands up, stays there overnight, talks to people one-to-one, addresses their grievances, make administrative decisions there and then, instead of people having to run from offices to offices and chase their files. But more than anything else, the daily disruptions,
Has now stopped.
violence,
Okay.
arson, that has stopped, which is a prerequisite for any development to take place.
All right. Sushil, I request you to stay on. Let's look at the other regions. The other region of Jammu in the state of in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. We'll talk about the UT of Ladakh later. We bring you the story from the Jammu region. 30 kilometers away from Jammu, Vijaypur region of the Samba district is on the way to become a hub of medical tourism. Located on both sides of Jammu-Pathankot National Highway, work is underway for construction of All India Institute of Medical Sciences. Being built under the Pradhan Mantri Swasthya Suraksha Yojana, this institute will prove to be a boon for the people of the hilly regions. My colleague Neeraj Singh went to this place and took a stock of the situation. This is what people there had to tell him.
The central government has started working on strengthening foundational healthcare services in Jammu and Kashmir, and for the purpose, it is working on bringing up 9 medical colleges and 2 AIIMS in the region. In the coming days, more projects are also being planned in the region, including the establishment of National Centre for Disease Control. With AIIMS coming up, not only the region of Jammu but also people of Himachal and Punjab will be benefited.
पहले कोई भी परेशानी होती तो हमें जम्मू जाना पड़ता है सीधा ही, तो एम्स समझने से हमें इतना फायदा होगा, कोई भी परेशानी होगी सीधा हम एम्स में चले जाएंगे. हमें नहीं, विजयपुर वालों को नहीं. जैसे ये गुड़ा सलाथिया हो गया, राया सुचानी हो गया, जख हो गया, बड़ी ब्रह्मणा हो गया, सांबा बेल्ट हो गई, गगवाल हो गया, हीरानगर हो गया, कठुआ तक लोग आएंगे.
मुश्किलें तो काफ़ी हद तक दूर होंगी. जैसे पहले हम लोगों को कोई ट्रीटमेंट करवानी होती थी, जैसे हमें दिल्ली, अमृतसर, गंगाराम हॉस्पिटल, अपोलो वहाँ जाना पड़ता. अब एम्स जो है बिल्कुल हमारे डोर स्टेप पे आ गया, जिससे कि हमें काफ़ी सुविधा, जो हमारे बुजुर्ग हैं, बच्चे हैं, जिनको बिल्कुल डोर स्टेप पे आ गया, हमें इसलिए वो आसानी होगी थोड़ी.
एम्स खुलने से बहुत ही ज़्यादा सुविधा होगी, जो हम सोच भी नहीं सकते हैं. जो हमारे आने वाला यूथ है उनको काफ़ी जैसे जॉब्स मिलेंगी इधर, उसकी वजह से जैसे हमारे मेडिकल इश्यूज़ हैं, जैसे कि यहाँ पे मेडिकल J&K में जो हमें फैसिलिटी नहीं मिल पाती, जिसकी उसकी लोग बाहर की तरफ रुख करते हैं, जैसे कि पंजाब वाली साइड या कहीं और दिल्ली वाली साइड, तो उनको क्या होगा कि हमारे पूरे विजयपुर में ही इतनी फैसिलिटी मिलेगी कि वो सोच भी नहीं सकते.
Vijaypur is hardly 62 kilometers from Punjab and it takes just few hours to reach Vijaypur from Himachal. Being built with an expenditure of 1700 crore rupees, AIIMS has brought more hope for development in the region. According to initial information, there will be about 3,000 faculty and other posts in AIIMS with 15 to 20 super speciality departments and also 100 seats for undergraduate. Central government is putting all efforts to develop this region for medical tourism so that patients from other states can also come here for treatment.
बिजनेस है वो बढ़ेगा, फिर लोगों को दूर जाने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. कोई बीमार हो जाता है ऐसे चंडीगढ़ लुधियाना लेके जाना पड़ता है, वो यही सुविधा मिलेगी होगी.
एक तो नज़दीक है हमारे अपने शहर में बन रहा है, तो सर पहुंचना बड़ा आसान होगा. ऐसा कई लोगों के लिए पहुंचना बड़ा मुश्किल होता है, पहले जम्मू जाएंगे, उसके बाद दिल्ली वगैरह जाना पड़ता है. और सर इसमें फाइनेंशियली बड़ा हमें कमर्शियली बड़ा फ़ायदा होगा. जैसे एम्स आने से हमारी मार्केट बढ़ेगी.
People here are happy of the fact that with AIIMS coming up, they will not have to go to other states like Delhi, Mumbai or Punjab to avail any kind of treatment, and it will also generate employment options for the region. Prime Minister Modi laid the foundation stone for AIIMS last year, and the CPWD is carrying forward the construction for the same. The establishment of this institute is nothing less than a new leaf of structural development for Jammu and Kashmir. Neeraj Singh's report, DD India.
So that's how the health infrastructure of the Jammu region is being spruced up, is being made more robust. Sushil Pandit, one of the grievances of the people of Jammu have always been, you know, in the previously it was that because of resource allocation going more to the valley, this is what the Ladakhis were also used to also talk about, and therefore the long-standing demand for creation of a separate UT of Ladakh. But Jammuites would also say, well, it all goes to the valley. We don't get the kind of attention in terms of resource allocation, in terms of development. Do you think with, say, the creation of AIIMS, the other developmental works going on there, to some level the feelings of people have been assuaged? Is there a visible difference when you talk to your relatives, to your colleagues? You come from that state, from that union territory now.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I must remind you, in the 2015 budget, when one AIIMS was allocated, it was quietly cornered by the valley. At that time, there was a coalition government in the state.
Okay.
And the valley vociferously kept the AIIMS allocated to the state by the union government in the valley. And there was an agitation by Jammu, and after weeks, then the center had to allocate two AIIMS, one for the valley and one for Jammu. That is how this AIIMS is coming up. And you just heard from the citizens of Jammu that they had to go hundreds of kilometers, some running towards Amritsar, others running towards Ludhiana and Jalandhar, and quite a few would come to Delhi also by road. And critically sick patients would sometimes not be able to sustain these long journeys by road. So this is a huge relief, and also a big economic intervention besides a social infrastructure which was badly needed here. And this is thanks to no more discrimination, no more stepmotherly treatment to the region of Jammu, which was always deprived of its fair share of resources because the politics was valley-centric.
Okay.
Because of political scales being tilted unfairly in favor of valley through allocation of larger number of assembly seats, which also is being addressed now through a delimitation exercise. Jammu has started feeling the rewards of a union territory being run directly from the center.
And the center allocating resources fairly to both regions. Sushil,
Absolutely.
Yeah, Sushil Panjat, Ladakhis have always, I think the happiest were the Ladakhis in 2019 when the two UTs were created after the revocation of the special status. Let's look at the story from Ladakh, where my colleague Vishal Baristo spoke to young Ladakhis how they are feeling. The Ladakhis are full of aspiration, yes, excitement on the first birthday of the UT. New horizons are emerging ever since Ladakh attained the new status. Let's take a look at what these youngsters have to say.
First birthday of the UT status, and I have with me some very enterprising youngsters. Start off with the gentleman first. What's your name?
Hello, my name is Rixin Dawa.
Rixin, what are your aspirations as a youngster? Because it's been a year now as far as UT status is concerned. You've been demanding for it for a very long time.
We are looking at development wise for entrepreneurs, you can say, for youngsters who couldn't complete the further educations, who gets difficulties, to the rural areas. If you say road connectivity, water, there's electricity problem, network connectivity problem. So yes, we are seeing that this will create a difference. So
has it already made a difference?
Somewhat, yes. We got university, as you know, University of Ladakh.
Let's go to another youngster. She's an enterprising woman. She is also a businesswoman. So what's your name and what do you do?
Sir, I'm Kunzes. I'm running my own business. I have a small setup of my own, handloom setup. So it's like we started off 3 years ago, and with the status of UT coming in, I think it's going to be like really bright for people like me, and other youngsters like me who's coming into like work like this, like where they're working with the local product, with the local women. So even now they're like they're giving us a lot of like taking us forward in that direction. They're saying like, you're doing a good job, you should carry forward. So I'm hoping like in future also, like I think more people like me will come up.
Which is, as you said, that you've been working for 3 years. 3 years you were part of JK. Now you are an independent status UT. So how have things changed for you?
In terms of documentation, in terms of the money, that the kind of finance that we're getting from the central government to boost up people like me, I think that's improving a lot, because like we have had a lot of meeting regarding how to take the textile industry forward. So I think like in future also, and even this year, I'm really hopeful, sir, that it's going to go in a good direction.
If we have to compare the earlier system and this new UT status, how would you react?
So I think right now we have more control. Previously, when you're part of a bigger system, then, and because Kashmir and Jammu and Srinagar is quite far from here, so we used to face more problem because of the connectivity also. As you know, like Ladakh is cut off from the rest of the country at least for 6 months in a year. So like that, we had a lot of issue. Now we have more control over ourselves, of our finances, of our and I'm hopeful in future also there would be a lot more job creation from the job creation point of view. So I think it's going to be a positive step for the youth there.
What do you do?
I'm a businesswoman. I'm in tourism industry.
So how have things changed for you as far as this UT is concerned? It's been a year now.
After UT Ladakh, we are focusing more on sustainable tourism, and we are getting a lot of help from the center also.
A lot of help from the center. Now I have with me a young writer. How have things changed for you?
We can say is we have huge hopes for the future, because as an artist, I really want to see more opportunities, not just for the well-established artists, but also for the young aspiring artists.
Like
the ones in school, the ones who are thinking of opting it as a subject in colleges, who are not really exposed to different forms of arts. So for them.
So do you think that UT is going to be a huge platform for you guys?
I hope so, because till now, from the past few decades, from the past 70 years, we have been under the shadow of Kashmir, and there wasn't a lot of good opportunities for an artist.
As a true artist, she's not talking about herself, but also for the community. Now going back to the businesswoman, if we compare the earlier regime and this one, there were complaints of corruption and things like that. So what do you have to say on that?
So especially in terms of jobs, I think like Ladakhis were facing a little difficulty. Like me, though, like I have always been like more oriented towards starting something of my own. But I mostly hear it from other friends of mine who were struggling at that time to get a job. Like they have to go through Kashmir, so it's like there was more like I think corruption and all, and plus like the what do you call it, favoritism. So it's like a lot of us used to be left out in some ways. So I think like with the new administration coming in, like I've recently heard there are like 5,000, 6,000 jobs being announced. So I'm just hoping like they're going to take like more of the Ladakhi youths who are searching for jobs, who are credible, but then who were left out for a long time.
So there you heard, this is the voice of a young Ladakh. This is the voice of the people who have had a taste of 1 year of UT, and we are all hoping that all the hopes of Ladakh that were not fulfilled for a very long time, now is the time, and the time is for them. With cameraman Sanjay Jaina and Kamlesh, this is Vishal Baristo for DD News, Leh.
So that's what the youngsters of Ladakh have to say. Sushil Pandit, very telling comment from the Ladakhi youngsters, especially three things that for me, when I heard that interview that Vishal took. One, saying for past 70 years, we were under the shadow of Kashmir. We were left out due to favoritism. I'm quoting this from what the youngsters told our correspondent. Now, we have finances coming directly to us, and we have control over it. Have the Ladakhis got their own identity, a sense of being in charge of their own destiny?
Mr. Singh, Vishal met a cross-section, and especially the youngsters, I could see. One must understand, Ladakh comprised more than 60% territory of the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir.
Right.
And less than 10% population of the state. It was most discriminated against. Jammu, being a more populous region with larger representation in the assembly, could still fight for some crumbs. But Ladakh was completely left high and dry more often than not. Which is why, and Ladakh being geographically little far-flung and disconnected, used to suffer for the lack of even basic amenities, and deprivation was widespread. This Ladakh now has been taken out of that servitude. It's not just the shadow, is an understatement. It was almost looking like a colony, and they agitated for decades. And what they got in turn was a hill council, which again was in the overall political control of the state government. So it was neither here nor there. Now they feel actual liberation and control of their own destinies, which is why the fruit of their endeavors are in their own hands, are visible, can be experienced. Money is going directly to them. They are the masters of their destiny. They take their own decisions. They do allocations according to their own prioritizations, and they see the results happening. Ladakh is the most sensitive territory. It is the only geography where Pakistan and China
both
meet at that border point. And therefore, we need to be extra careful about our population, about our region, about its development. The lack of infrastructure in that region has been the most telling point in our defense weakness there. Today, we are building roads and bridges for quicker communication and transportation, which is intrinsic to our security of the region.
Absolutely.
And it is more possible today because it is a union territory.
Absolutely. And as Sushil Pandit says, for strategic reasons also, but more importantly, it's kindled a hope in the people of Ladakh that now they are masters of their own destiny. Sushil Pandit, I have to thank you there. I'm completely out of time. Many thanks for being on the show and sharing your insights with us. And that's it in Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh then and now. We'll keep bringing you this program every evening at 6:30 p.m. To see how far we have travelled in the past 1 year since the special status of the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir was revoked. That's it from me for the moment. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.